I don't know what it is, but I want to sign up. And then you say you can help me like get my stuff set up. I'm like, yeah, we can help you. Like, okay.
A lot of people get caught up in the quality of the video, the quality of the audio, the quality of the lighting, but they never focus on the quality of the person. Yep.
But I feel like that's the number one thing that's stopping a lot of agents.
Every thought that comes down to when they're saying out of their mouth, I don't want to use AI because of this, or I think this, whatever the term is. It's all stemming from ego.
All right. All right, guys. So we're here with Dylan.
What's up,
Last
guys?
name, I always get like
Shively. Everybody says
Shively.
Shively. but
Yes,
it's Shively. Yeah.
I didn't want to mess up. There you
It's
go.
all good. It happens.
And we're gonna talk a lot about social media strategies and the way AI is heading. What's gonna happen with social media and what agents right now need to do in order to not be left behind. So, Dylan, you start off with like social media coaching, and
Yep.
then also right now, I mean, he's been a good friend and has grown so much from the video and the video quality that he makes. But one of the things that I want to bring out there is that now, like we see like some great production that you make. But before that, because everybody's scared that they see like quality of videos that you make, and they're like, "Well, I'm never gonna match that." So like the thing is that the iterations and the process that I mean, it has to be done. And I guess the question is, how did you manage to overcome that gap from like trying and trying and trying? And why do you think most people stop at the first or second video that they felt that didn't work out?
Yeah. So a lot of people get caught up in the quality of the video, the quality of the audio, the quality of the lighting, but they never focus on the quality of the person, right? And so what happens is there's a confidence issue. And so they think that the lighting needs to be perfect and the audio needs to be perfect. What I'm saying needs to be perfect. And once all of that is perfect, that's going to make a high quality video. And it's not. If you're worried about the quality of the video rather than the quality of the message or the person giving the message, that's the first problem. So I can almost guarantee, because this happens every time, what helped big time for me is understanding the habits and what I do, and it's inputs versus outputs. So my first couple of videos sucked. And then my next batch of videos just sucked a little bit less, because instead of waiting to try to find perfect, I went with what I had and I tried. Most people know me. A lot of people know me for like always forever being Team Android, and I'll never leave. And the reason is because I loved the reaction of like publicly, people would say like, oh no, blue bubbles, blah, 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 green messages suck. But then like they'll text me on the side like, hey, that photo of me, can you send it to me? The one you took on your phone? And I'm like, oh, what happened? I thought my stuff sucked. And so it always boils down to the quality of the person and the message matters. And if you have something that you know that will really help somebody, you'll care less about the quality of the video and the audio and the lighting. I'm not saying it's completely irrelevant. You should have some quality stuff, but don't let that be the excuse you give yourself on why you would not start now. Because anybody this message is going to, it's going to be service-based. You have a business, you have something you want to offer somebody, whether it's real estate or not. This applies to everybody. The best version of you will give the best outcome of anything you can give. So I stepped in knowing I wasn't the best, and my quality was not going to be the best. My edits, my cuts, my transitions, my music choice was not going to be the best. But I knew I was okay with looking stupid first and figuring it out as I go, because I will achieve that ultimate look I want as long as I take the first step. Meaning, if I go on edit on whatever platform, use whatever camera, use my phone, figure out lighting, I can go back and watch it and then make adjustments and say, well, why did it look like this? And I would, in not a way you're initially going to think, but I would incorporate AI in just the way of having like a challenge to myself. So this is what I mean. I would use AI to say, look at this video that I made. If you were trying to tear me apart, what did I do wrong or what could I do better? And it's like, well, it looks like the lighting was here. You should try to do this. Your audio was good, but did you try to do this? And so there was things I didn't know. And I used the platform to say, well, what can be better? I'd then go and learn how to make those adjustments. And then I'd watch the same video back when I edit. Oh shit, that is better. I'd go film something. Now it is different. And then so when I start to see progress, I get addicted to the progress, and then I produce what I produce now.
Absolutely. I mean, and I guess like you nailed it. I mean, I was having a conversation with a title rep earlier, and number one from the beginning is like, what are you gonna produce for them? Like the value. Like the value is always greater than the quality of any camera or video that you're gonna produce. The value that they're gonna get, and a lot of people forget that. And even as I was learning this speaking, they were like, because at the beginning when I was starting speaking in public, like I couldn't do it, and I was like shaking and shaking. But then, like, as I was doing it over and over and over again, then the shaking stopped. And then one of the messages from a coach was like, just don't think about like how you look and think about the message, and it's all gonna land. And I started doing it, and it started working. And then going back to what you were talking about with AI, AI is so powerful in the way you use it as a tool to make you better versus make you useless in the fact that you wanted to do all for yourself. Like that's challenges. I mean, it brought me back memories. Like we were in New York and we spoke to somebody and they gave me a rebuttal. And I'm like, oh, how do I respond to that? And AI, well, they told me this. What do I respond next? No, you should have done this, this, and that. Okay. Then I tried that. I was like, oh, now they told me this now. It's a different answer because they give us the same answer before.
Yeah.
And now like, oh, now you should try with this. And every single conference, like we just keep polishing and polishing and polishing. But again, it goes back to that willingness to be able to go through the process and not being afraid of the result, but more of like, this is like, I got to get from point A to B and it's going to suck, but I know C is going to get better. D is going to get a lot better. And as we get closer to Z, we have it made. But I feel like that's the number one thing that's stopping a lot of agents. For yourself, was it simple to get through that process? Or what was like any challenge that you might have had internally that might have stopped you, but then you still moved forward?
I mean, there's challenges all the time, right? And so to earlier's point, when you were saying like, hey, sometimes agents, they don't want to use it, or they think it's either going to like replace, I don't know what they think, but I can tell you this. Every thought that comes down to when they're saying out of their mouth, I don't want to use AI because of this, or I think this, whatever the term is. It's all stemming from ego, which again goes to the problem, because AI is more qualified because of all of the inputs it's given and its ability to generate an output and listen unbiasedly to all of the inputs it received. Unlike human, that wants to be right, that wants to look like the leader, that one says, I don't need AI, I don't need blah, blah, blah. Okay, you think you don't, but put somebody who has a tool available to them that's going to make them better. It's undeniable it's going to make the person better. Choosing not to use it is an ego problem. And so when I'm building the brand, when I'm making a video, when I'm giving any advice, I always speak from experience. And so I'll never speak on something that I'm not familiar with or that I haven't experienced, because then I'm not qualified. And so when it comes to the video or use of AI and trying to figure out how to be like a better prompter so I can use it to its full capability, the first thing that I always challenged was my ego. It was like, hey, I don't need this thing. I'm already a really good thinker. I already have my own results, right? And as soon as I let that go down, and I was like, it's pretty ignorant to think that there couldn't be a better perspective than mine. So let me just play with it. And that's what I did. And then we learn from other people. Why is AI an issue? Because you watched one movie that says it's going to take over the world, or it's going to replace your job, or whatever. And I think we're at the point now where we hear it, but in case, for any reason, if you haven't heard this yet, AI will never replace what you do. A person who's better at you than using AI will replace what you do, right? Because your inability to want to adapt because you want to keep things the way it is in a world that is always progressing, you're going to get, blockbustered, right? Like it's going to happen.
You read my mind. So, because that's at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. Because if you fail to adapt, like that was the main example. Like they made all their money off the late fees. They thought, like, they joked around, they tossed Netflix, and now it's one of the biggest platforms. And with all of the progression, I mean, it's just that matter of jumping in and understanding it. But again, not coming from that point of like, like one of the things that, as we've done so many classes, people are scared of like the privacy situation. But even then, like now, like that, even if like, it's already gone to a point where it's like you care about it, but people have and know all this stuff about you from the minute you had a phone.
Yep.
And you can either just shy back and hide on your little shell, which they already know all the info about you, or you can just embrace it and move forward and adapt, use it, and deliver that value. So,
What, I mean, for real, what are we afraid of? Like, are you some top secret agent that has this big thing to hide? Like, that never made sense to me. Oh, I want to protect my privacy. Well, then why are you in the people business that you're obligated, and then you're also intrusive in all their financial decisions, their marriage decisions, their family? You're involved in everything in a real estate transaction. You know everything about the person. And you think that you get to know everything about the person, but they can't know everything about you. That's just a weird, and it goes to any business. I know mainly for here is real estate, but if there's anybody that's listening that is not real estate, you cannot have somebody trust you to transact with you, to give you the money that they earned and say, you know what, I'm going to give it to you for helping me, and think that they don't have the right to know about you. What if your life is that private? Why are you in an industry that requires you to be public and to reach out to the public? Why do you not have a private W-2 job that is behind a computer or behind something where you don't interact with the public? Are you really got that much going on? You got this big, then why do you have a billboard? Why do you have a Facebook? Why do you have an Instagram? Why do you have anyway?
But it takes like a video or podcast like this to be able to sometimes shine some light that, I mean, for those that feel like that's them, I mean, you're not alone, because there's hundreds of thousands of agents that think that way. But what you can do is just flip that switch and actually do something better, not just for yourself, but for your business. And by your business, also for your clients, and share some of that knowledge. And that's, again, telling them of the stuff that you do, how you do it. And because people do business again, and that's like the core rule in any kind of people that they know, like and trust. But if they don't know you and then they can't trust you because you're like so private, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But unfortunately, like I said, the number of people that actually still think that way, even as we were in family reunion, where like it's like the family reunion was social media con. So it's like, you're going to go about social media. And we ran into like over 20 agents that said like, no, I don't do social media. All I do is just influence. And then I was like, well, this is like social media. It's like, yeah, I just want to learn about it, but I just keep to myself. It's private. And again, it goes back to the point. Like, I mean, if you're so private, like this is a people's business and people want to know about people, and it's just the value that you deliver them, but they still want to know you because you get to know. I mean, and like what you're saying, like, I mean, we see financial statements, we see this, we see that, and it's all.
You get to know when the person missed payments, and the reason that they fell behind in that car got repoed was because of a divorce or a death in the family. You get to know all that about someone else, the person that you're going to get money from. And you don't think there should be no mutual exchange of they should know who they're giving their money to? That's crazy. And like, even for that social media side of when they went there and they're like, I don't really want to do this, but I'm here. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? So you decided to take time out of your day. Here's the real issue. It's not that they don't want to do it. They do want to do it, which is why they're there. They're just afraid to publicly tell you they want to do it and look stupid and fail. Because you can't tell me you took time out of your day, whatever hours, whatever the drive was, whatever the time you guys were here for. There's no way that you blocked that time off, got dressed, rearranged appointments, and drove to the building for this training to not do something with it. What? I just don't believe it. There's no way. You want to learn. You just don't want to say, hey, I'm a little new to this. I got a lot of learning to do. I did push this off for a while because I didn't think it would get to this point. I was wrong. And now I know I'm forced to learn this, because if I want to be relevant, my way works right now, but it's not going to work forever. And I've now recognized that, and I want to get better. Please help me.
And it goes back to the ego part.
Yep.
And to contrast that, towards the end, like the very last day, like it really opened my heart to like there's still people that want to try, and we pushed. Like there was this gentleman, like baby boomer, 70s,
Mhm.
like 60s, 70s, like, but he was like, you know what? I don't know what it is, but I want to sign up. And then you say you can help me like get myself set up. I'm like, yeah, we can help you. Like, okay. So we helped them. And they're like, but you need some videos. Like, oh yeah, I signed up with that other company. Let me go and send them, talk to them so they can give you my videos. And he was like 10 minutes with us, 10 minutes with that other company trying to get
Mhm.
their stuff. And then he went with another company to try to like put it. But it felt like he was really trying, like
Mhm.
trying to get something done because he didn't want to be left behind.
Mhm.
And for that gentleman, that's why we just want to expand and build, because I know like there's some other people that actually want to try and get things done. And I mean, social media, it's like the best thing for that to be out there. And especially now with AI, that everybody's going to be asking AI about this specific person or so forth. But it all comes down to, again, the quality of the content that we make.
Yep.
What are we putting out there? And if it's actually value driven, because right now, like, as I was driving here, I mean, I was going through social media, and there was like somebody complaining about like these other influencers with like 600,000 followers, that they go around the stores and they make a mess and drop stuff and open chips, and then they force the employees to clean, and he makes fun of them and record it, and
Mm.
600,000 people follow. And then agents see that and they feel like, well, that's social media, and I don't want to like do
Mhm.
stupid stuff or do this or that because that's not my brand. It's like, well, that's one branch out of all of it, and unfortunately, you can't stop. Like some people like get high on stupid
Mhm.
stuff, but there's so many other stuff. Like there's
Yeah. I was gonna say again, it's an excuse because okay, let's go to TV then. There's the news that everybody knows there's never anything positive on there. Does that mean that you're only going to produce negative stuff because you think the news is it? You know it's not. It's every reason to not is an excuse. Every single time, no matter what. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how long. Every reason you say to another person, the reason I'm not doing this is because of what someone else did. Oh, I saw this one video. I know we all doom scroll, right? And then it put the definition up or whatever. If there's one person who wants to say they don't know what that is. If you don't know, that means you swipe more than once. There's no way you opened an app once and then that's the first video that popped up. And then you closed the app and never touched it again and said, whoa, that's social media. It's a lie. Just say, I need help. I don't understand it. I want to learn more. I thought something and I was wrong. I've been wrong way more times than I've ever been right. But I was willing to be wrong and then say, hey, I need help. I need guidance. I need somebody to walk me through this so that way I can learn.
Yeah.
Anybody who is opposed to learning, again, it blows my mind. I don't know what world they live in because there's an initial desire where they want to change where they are now. There's something about what they do right now they don't like, which is why they're interested in hearing another option. But when the other option is going to challenge who they claim to be, nah, it ain't that bad. I'm just not going to do it. What I do works already. Okay.
Yeah.
Fix that. Whoever. Fix
Well,
that shit.
and it goes back to the common issue with agents. Like, well, this brokerage didn't work for me. I'm going to go to the next one. And we're going to get started like, oh, that one didn't work for me. I'm going to go for the next one. And I know there's like that thing that you just mentioned. It's you trying to find the thing that you know it doesn't exist to please that ego part or the missing excuse that you have. It
can't be me.
Yeah. And it doesn't work there, and it's not going to be the same thing. And it goes for brokerages, it's like for businesses, even like religion.
Yeah.
If you want to go into that, like, well, this church did this, but I didn't like it, so I'm gonna go find a church that actually allows me to drink and get do this and that, and they're not gonna judge me. It's like, I mean, truth is truth.
Yep.
And the truth is, the majority of everybody listening, and you gotta accept, we have an ego problem. And it starts with, my name is, and I have an ego problem, but I want to fix it. And once you start working to it, like, I mean, you're still whole. Like you didn't lose a finger, or you didn't lose anything like by asking for help.
Nope.
And you gained so much because, like I mentioned, I've seen your journey. I've seen like from the beginning, like we've talked like your original videos, where you're at now. But it's help, it's iteration, it's Kaizen. Kaizen is 1% better, and just keep moving forward.
Yep.
So it's doing the hard things that we know to get better. And a powerful quote was, the magic that you've been searching is behind the thing that you're avoiding.
Yep.
And for you and everybody out there is making videos. Like making video is the fact that right now, everybody, like I would put a stat. It's like 99.999 of everybody is on social media and is doom scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, like, where are you?
Now, you know, you do it too. But if you have a business in any industry, you're an agent, you're a lender, I don't give a shit. Whatever business you're in, it is undeniable that if more people knew who you were and what you did, your possibility of increasing your transactions would increase. So if you know that if most of the people are spending their time on social media and you're choosing not to, when your business was started in a time where social media, because let me be fair, there are plenty of people that have already had a successful business prior to social media being a thing. Those people get somewhat of a pass because like you knew how to build a business before social media existed. So could you live without it? Sure. But you also can't deny that it wouldn't drastically help you if you tapped into it. Because if you're good at speaking in public, if you're good at networking events, if you're good at relationship building, social media gives you the platform to just 10x what you're already good at. Right? But you feel like you're starting fresh. Like, I don't know. I cannot relate to the thought process of people that say, I'm okay with where I'm at, or I don't like where I'm at. And I know I want to get better and I know this tool could help. But instead of learning, I'm going to stay where I'm at. I don't relate to that. I don't know how to connect with somebody like that. I always want to get better. I don't have all the answers. And so I'm always going to explore. I'm confident enough to know that I'm good, but I'm also understanding enough that the only reason I'm good is because of the repetitions and my willingness to learn. And I also understand that if somebody did the same things I did in the same order, with the same energy and effort, with the same intent, they can yield the same result. So I am not special in the case that I have this like God-given talent or whatever. Anybody who does what I do in the exact way, the exact amount of hours, will yield the same, if not potentially better result. So now that goes back to the person. Like I said in the beginning, it is not the quality of the videos that is stopping you. We're not in a lack of information time anymore. We have all the information at our fingertips. Most things you guys will probably hear today is a reminder of something you heard somewhere else. So if anything, information is not the problem. It's your inability to take the first step and to take action that is the problem, which goes back to the original thing I said. It's the quality of the person. If you're not the type of person that wants the thing bad enough and is willing to put the ego down and look stupid for a little bit until you don't, right? Like it's corny till it works. Yeah. It's stupid till it works. But if you're not willing to go and take that first step, why are you even complaining about where you're at? Because your lack of action proves that's exactly where you want to be.
That's truth. Now, what are the things that you feel an agent or anybody listening here will be like once they acknowledge that they want to do the first iteration? Because I know like the question comes all the time. It's like, well, now I understand that I have an issue. I am going to put my ego aside. But now it's like, do I do YouTube? Do I do Instagram? Do I do TikTok? Do I do this? Do I do that? One of the things that I've told them is like, do the one that you feel more consistent and the people that you want to do business with are in. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them feel like they have to be everywhere. at once, and it creates overwhelm, and overwhelm creates procrastination.
Mhm.
What do you think on that?
So I think you should start on the platform that you already spend the most time on, because every time you open whatever that app is, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever app you spend the most time in is the one you're most familiar with. So that then eliminates the excuse of, well, I don't know how to use this. I've never seen the algorithm before. I don't know what it wants or doesn't want. At the same time, you need to massively produce right away, because you can then start guessing, and this is where ego comes in again. Well, the only reason that I didn't do YouTube yet is because, I have to produce all of this stuff, and that takes time, and I'm busy running my business, and I can't do that, right? They'll come up with whatever excuse. The answer is very simple. Pick the platform you're on the most. And then before you try to make any decisions on what you think would work or would not work, because let me tell you how delusional this is, by the way. If you have not achieved the thing, how can your way of doing it work? So, for example, if I've never rebuilt the engine of a car, how can I say, well, this is the right or wrong way to do it if I've never done the thing? And so if you've never achieved virality or lots of DMs or whatever your goal is, if you've never achieved the thing, how do you think you possess the answer for the outcome and know it's the right way? You don't. That's delusional. That is ego and delusion just blended together. That's you trying to step in again. This is why you go to people and say, hey, I see the results you have. I want those kind of results. How did you get those results? And then you pay them, and they show you, because they time collapse the time it's going to take you to get the results you say you want. So if you want YouTube, if you want TikTok, if you want Instagram, Facebook, you find the person killing it. You ask the person how they did it. And if they're willing to give you their time, whether they say, yes, pay me, or they say, no, I'll just show you, pay them anyway, because if their way works and they have proof, and the reason any of you are doing it, because again, we're saying agents, right? So if you know that another agent can help you move forward, and they can time collapse the time it's going to take for your success to increase, which is always going to be monetary success, why would you not compensate that person for their time? They just helped you with something that you would have never figured out on your own, because you can't. And that's okay. You cannot do it on your own. Find someone who's done it and ask them to teach you. Don't go to their page and try to just rip their shit. I hate that too. Like, go and ask them for help and offer them money.
Yeah.
Because you know how many times that same person probably gets DMs? Can you help me with this? I was thinking about you for this and blah, blah, blah. And they never throw money at it. And yes, it is about the money. Because the thing that you're asking for is, show me how to get more attention so I can increase my business financially. Pay that person for their time, even if they say no. Because in a world full of people that want shit for free, you stand out to the successful person when you say, hey, I don't have a lot, but I'll give you something.
And that speaks more than anything. And the other thing that even like Goggins has spoken about, similar to that, is that when they have the opportunity to ask a question to David Goggins, and if you don't know David Goggins, ask AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, Goggins, like in 30 seconds, tell me how I can be like you. And that's Merck was like, his answer was like, it's like, mother, you think like my whole life can be summed up in 30 seconds? Like, and that's the problem with you and with them, and like doesn't happen like that. And the way he's like, the way it works, it's you see the mud, and you're gonna lay down in the mud, and you're gonna go around the mud, and then you're gonna get up, and then you're gonna go back in the mud, and then you're gonna do some more scrolls, and then you're gonna get up again. And then the minute that you feel like you don't really want to be in the mud, then you're gonna take a shower. But until you realize that the process is the process, and you can't skip the process. You don't go and ask somebody like in 30 seconds how they became whoever they are. And I've gotten so many calls sometimes that when I was doing owner finance and creative, like, hey, I want to do what you're doing because I want to buy properties. Can you like, can we meet up and like, or can we do a Zoom like 15 minutes and tell me how you do what you do? Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I stopped getting calls was because I did what you like, because like they didn't offer. It was like, okay, well, I have this book that I built that has all the stuff that I've done over 15 years and so forth. It's $6,000. Mm-hmm. And with it, like, I'll give you 1 hour of my time and then I'll catch up with you each month. Like, oh yeah, but I'm not. And then excuse after excuse after excuse of the time of this. I've been going through that. And my business is this, my business is that. And then I stopped getting calls.
Yep.
But it's that, like, I mean, I didn't mind giving them the help, but it's sometimes like, again, like, it's time that's going away from me. That, again, people think that money is time, but time is more valuable than money.
Yep.
And until you get to that level, I mean, you just gotta pay. And that's one of the things that, I mean, I've paid so much money on all this stuff that we've had just to be able to get that reach and being surrounded with those people, because like, I would say that those things that you just mentioned do work. Like, you stand around with enough people that do or have the thing you want, and then you have the thing.
Yep.
And then the world opens up, because now you reach that hill, you see the sunset, and then there's more, and then like you keep climbing the hills, and there's always gonna be a hill, and then you can raise people up, but like, it's just the hungry people that you want to raise up. And it's not about, like you're saying, because if somebody would have approached me like, well, I don't have much, but I can do this or I can do that, but not a coffee, or like, here, I got you this, like,
yeah, not the coffee or lunch. Can we stop doing that? Like, you think that I'm going to teach you how to make a couple extra commission checks per month through social media, which, you know, what is it still average? About a $300,000 home, give or take. You guys know the math. You know what you get paid regardless of your splits or whatever. So you think I'm going to show you how to get an extra 3 to 5 clients a month, let's say, for some fucking lunch? Like, I can't buy my own. Like, and the people, 10-second rant. If you know me at all and think that you say, can I take you out for coffee? That's the immediate no. The people who know me know why. I don't drink coffee. All I drink is energy drink. I'm known for the energy drinks. That's all I drink. You know, obviously water and whatever and some Dr. Pepper here and there, but like, energy drinks. And I've said, oh, I got a child's palate. Like, I don't like coffee. And if you got to put all the sugar and all this to make it look, I don't like it. And so if you're like, I love what you do and I see this and this and this, can I take you for coffee? I'm immediately turned off by that shit, because it's like, wow, you didn't even take the time to really get to know me. You could watch 4 of my videos and realize, I think he likes energy drinks. Like, take the time, by the way, to get to know the people. Anyways, go ahead.
Can you sum up the videos for me? Do I have to watch 4? Can I watch 1?
You can. You fucking get the people, man. People are like, oh, can I just do less? Yeah, you can always do less as long as you want to be exactly how you are now.
And that's what I like about you. Like, it's that iterations that for a minute it feels like you're just like one person, like, is that nobody wants to progress or to challenge, or like everybody wants the easy way out. Mm-hmm. But then you start meeting people like the same frequency, like actually putting the work, that do the hard shit, like move on, like keep failing, keep moving, keep failing, keep moving, and it's just cool to be able to have those relationships that, I mean, we've had for a while. And you know what I mean, even like for your services, like, oh, yeah, here, and we respect like the value of the service, because I mean, it's always been there, like, and you're not gonna, well, you make so much more and you think that that's less. I mean,
yeah, it is.
But
people are just screwed up in the way that they think. And again, if I'm looking right at you watching this. If your way worked and it was the right way, you would not be asking for someone who you didn't believe had a better way. And so put the ego down when you ask somebody for help. Like, I guarantee this happens every time. I always say some shit and somebody finds a way to get offended by it. But people are only offended by the truth, right? So if anything that I'm saying like hurts your feelings and now you're like, man, I don't like this guy because he said this and this, it's because it relates. And I hope that you don't like me enough that you want to go out and prove me wrong. Because if you do what I say, or you do something in spite of what I say because you want to prove me wrong, both ways are going to make you better. And so if you can't get past the messaging of being a little direct, or sounding passionate about what I'm saying, it's because you have some issues, some personal development issues that need to be worked on. And so once you fix those and you listen, everything you do, or I suggest to do, or I tell you what worked for me, will work for you too. It's only things that make you better. It's very simple. When we make a decision on, is this a good idea? The only things, the two things on the scale should be, well, if I do the thing, is it going to put me closer to the version of me I want to be? Or is it going to take me further away? And if the answer is it's going to take you further away, you don't do the thing. And if it's going to get you closer to being the person you want to be, you do the thing. And you do that with every single decision. I don't know why this is such a hard concept. If I do more social media videos, will it increase the chances of me being seen more? Yes or no? Yes. And whether they're good or not good, will I be seen more? Yes. And what do I want? I want to be seen more. Why? Because if I'm seen more, I earn more opportunities to increase my business, which for whatever reason you want to use those funds, it makes my life better. I can spend more time with my family. I can, whatever your reason is. Does it bring me closer to that or further away from that? If it brings you closer, I shouldn't have to tell you. But if it brings you closer, you should probably do the thing. If it brings you further away from it, don't do the thing. And if you think that way with every decision you make, the photo you take, the video you say, the video you record, what you say, how you say it, who you spend your time with, it all changes.
And this has gone like from just social media to like mindset, mentality, and hopefully somebody takes some good stuff out of it. Because I mean, this is the kind of stuff, like I've paid like $5,000 to $6,000 in coaching, and it's for you guys. So it's like, take the action, take that step, keep going. And if for any reason you feel like, oh well, I don't have the equipment, I don't know how to record, or I don't have that, again, Dylan can really, I mean, he's made some amazing products for the home tours, and not just home tours. If you have an event that you're sponsoring, that you're making, and you want to stand out, hire somebody, because you're not going to be recording the event and being on the event and talking to people, and it just doesn't work. Like, hire somebody. And again, it's going to cost some money, but if that going to be time that you're going to be saving, editing, recording, and not spending tens of thousands of dollars on equipment, because this equipment that to make good content cost pretty penny. Yeah, so it's either you can purchase all that, or you can hire somebody and get it going. But it's just about like removing the excuses and getting to where you want to be, because ultimately the game is just about doing the thing.
Yep. And it boils down to everything. And so this is why I focus on that, because it applies to a social media strategy. It applies to someone willing or not willing to use AI. It applies to their business either growing or failing. It applies to their relationships, because at the end of the day, we're in the human business, right? And so how we show up and how we think, and whether we respect ourselves or not, matters. How you show up in the office matters. How you show up on social media matters. So you have to take care of the person in order to be the best version of yourself to go out there. I promise you, if your hair was perfect, if your teeth looked nice, you got, say a fresh haircut, a dope ass outfit, you had a killer workout at the gym, you looked at the donut, you didn't pick up the donut, you picked up the protein bar, and you just felt good about you, that version of you is going to show up on camera. And then all of a sudden, you're not going to care about lighting. You're not going to care about the equipment, because you're going to realize, damn, I'm that person. And like, I know I'm better than the people around me, because the work instills the worth. I did the work and I know I'm worth it. And I have a good quality message from doing the work, and I'm going to go put that out to the people. And we know there's plenty of people that make tons of money using their phone. So you can't say you don't have the equipment. Get that excuse out. It's working on the person. Let me sum it up this way. build the person, man, woman, doesn't matter. Build the person you admire, give that person to the world. That is our only obligation. If I build the best version of me and I show up as the best version of me, I'm now better for my clients. I'm now better for my wife. I'm now better for my kids. I'm now better for my friends. I'm now better for the people around me in the industry that I spend time with. I'm better for everybody because I now take the initiative to hold the standard to say, you're afraid to make a video? I ain't afraid to make a video. Watch this shit. And I go and I do it. Because I know the person showing up on the camera is better than an edit. Like trending audio, edits, color grading, doesn't matter if the shitty person is in the video. It just doesn't. If you're not happy with the person, you know, yourself, by the way, if you're not picking this up, if you're not happy with yourself, an edit isn't going to make you sound more interesting. A trending audio isn't going to make you cooler. A transition or a color grade is not going to make your video go more viral. It's the person that shows up on the camera every single time. So universally, to all of you at every single angle, if you work on the person, all of this, I'm afraid of AI, I'm afraid of making videos, I don't have the right equipment, I don't have the right information, I don't know how to post, all goes out the window. But because you're a person whose number one habit is making excuses, that's why it's easy for you to justify. Like imagine saying, I can't make enough money to pay my bills. No, kid, sorry, we can't take a vacation. I can't buy you that bike. No, we can't go out to eat. You know why? Because mom and dad didn't want to show up on video. Because we didn't want to go all in on the business. So we can't give you a life we never had because we're afraid of how we show up on camera to promote our business that we signed the fucked up for and paid for. You paid for your license to get into this industry. You pay for your continued education. You go to all these classes and these events, and then you go home and you're like, nah, sorry, we can't do this because dad was afraid to stutter.
Yeah, the market's hard.
The market's hard. I couldn't find the right trending audio, so I gave up. Really? Yeah.
That's it turned out to be like I said, not just social media, but at the end of the day, like it is what it is. And you can't change it to fit your model unless you change yourself first. Because fact is, hard things work. And it's not gonna be easy. You're gonna suck, but you work through it. And like I said, if like a 70-year-old took the time towards like the end of a exhibit and went through 4 different exhibitors to try to upload one video and still had the grind and hungriness to want to get something done, what's stopping you?
Grab the nearest mirror and look at it.
Yeah,
that's the answer.
We're not in high school no more. You can go ahead and just record. You're gonna have comments, and the more people that they comment, and if there's some haters, I mean, there's social media. They're not gonna go across the screen and grab you.
Never happened to me once. You know how many hate comments and hate DMs that I've gotten over time?
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Because like for every time that has happened, it's so funny how God works. And like that'll happen. And I just ignore it now. But in the beginning, right? Like when it's new to you, you're looking like, damn, somebody really thinks of me like that. And then I'll get another message from somebody that's like, hey, that thing you said changed my entire life. I got to do this and this and this because of it. I never thought this way. Now that you said this, I applied the thing and it worked. You know, whether it's I took the steps and I fixed my credit and I bought a house. I took the steps on how to set up a video, just like what you said. And I did this little edit and it helped. I bought that mic. The audio sounds so much better. There's no wind in it. And now people can hear me better and I'm happy. My first video went viral. I got a DM from somebody based on the post you told me to make. So like every time you get like something bad, it's at least now it's is disproportionate, where for every one bad message I'll get 10 or 15 good ones, to where like that bad message sometimes doesn't even like reach me. And it's like, at the same time, the hardest thing at that phase is having empathy for whoever, because it's always a private profile. It's always like,
Anonymous.
like,
one of the things that people don't realize, like, if you're in somebody's group and you're talking bad about the person that owns that group and you're anonymous as an owner of the group, you can actually see who that made that anonymous post.
mhm,
FYI.
Yeah.
Because like,
yeah. And it's like, poor person,
like
poor
they're going
you
through
if you're that person.
taking that time to just do that stuff. And
Like if I could help those people be less miserable, because it's never a happy person that says, let me go say something hateful to somebody. It's always a miserable person. And again, it goes back to the beginning message, how I started this off. If you build the best version of you that you admire and you give that version of you to the world, you would never spew the hate, because the hate is internal. So people outwardly project what they're in deficit of. And so when they see you trying to spread a positive message and they're full of hate, they're going to project the hate, because they don't know how to project the positive, because that's
Yeah.
not the way they think. It goes with like, if you're having success in real estate, like I know like there's local agents that like they live on social media, but guess what? They kill it. That doesn't mean that the person that goes and door knocks, like their life depends on it, doesn't win too. There's more than one way to do it. But if you spend any amount of time looking at what somebody else is doing in a different route than yours, and the first thing you think of is negative, again, that's a personal development issue. And I hope you heal from that, because that has to just eat you up. If you open up an app, and most times you don't even know these people, you open up the app and you're like, message request. And you go and you look at it, this might be business. And you look and there's just like a long paragraph of just like self-reflection, but they think it's them projecting. Oh man, like go get help.
yeah.
You need help. I don't know, that's a different thing, but just had to be said.
I mean, it came up to like one of the verses. Like, I mean, from whatever flows from the mouth is what the hearts feel of. So, and just keep moving forward, and like just don't let it get to you. Keep pushing, keep making content, because at the end of the day, it's like, and I've said it so many times, it's not the one that knows the most that wins, but the one that's mostly known.
Mhm.
And the one to be known, it's either you go and pay for the billboards, you go and pay for the commercials, or you can have your tool that's in your pocket, hit record, and there's no limit. I've never seen Instagram limit the number of posts you make.
Nope.
Have you seen them limit that?
Nope. You could go live, you could post a reel, you could post a story, you could do whatever you want. The problem is that people want to speak about things they're not qualified to speak about. Right. So there's a quote that I love. I can't obviously pretend like I did it. It wasn't me. I'm not that intelligent. But I loved it. Very simple. You're the most qualified to help the person you used to be. And so hearing that is always a self-reflection of like, well, hey, I go through these hard things and I have these challenges, because later on in life, someone's going to come to me, and it may be my kids. It may be somebody that I haven't spoke to in a long time, but somebody's going to come to me and they're going to have a problem, and they're going to feel comfortable talking to me about it, because they know I'm going to give them the most realist answer.
Yeah.
And then that's when it's going to click, like, oh, so I went through that thing like 3, 4, 5 years ago, whatever it was, for this day. And when you start looking at life like that, like when you actually want to help people, it's huge. I can't tell you the amount of like DMs or texts I don't get. Yo, I just want to run something by you, blah, 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 whatever. And I'll always attach it to something that happened to me in the past. And I'm like, oh, that's why. Because I believe that I'm put here to actually serve and help other people, but I can't give them an answer in which I don't possess. And so I have to go through an experience, both good and bad, to have a proper evaluation and have handled it a certain way to say, here's how I think you should handle it. Now, whether my way was right or wrong, I can also say that, hey, when I did the thing, I thought I was doing it right. and I wasn't. Here's what I would do now instead. Or if I did it the right way, hey, when I did it, it gave me the outcome I wanted. So if you're taking my advice, this is the way that I would do it. And so I look for those. I look for the downfalls. I look for the issues because I learn from them. Because I'm okay with being wrong. Again, I have been wrong way more times than I've been right. I'm occasionally right. I'm probably 98% of the time wrong. But that 2% comes in clutch because I'm willing to take that many L's and learn from it. So then that way I can give that advice and give that guidance and give that insight that somebody's looking for, because I believe that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Whether that's with my kids, people that I work with in the industry, whoever trusts me to guide them. Yeah. Like I said in the beginning, I won't talk about what I'm not familiar with. If I didn't experience it, I can't tell you. And that's how I come up with it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, guys, so we've gone a little bit over, but thank you for staying this far, and hopefully it helped you in a way that, number one, take action. Even if it's just going out, record a neighborhood video of your area, talk about a type of loan, the one you struggled with, because believe it or not, like you were talking about, like a lot of our clients, like I would say 90% of our clients, they're all self-employed business owners. Okay. So when I talk about like, this is what the issues that I've went through getting a loan, and then like everybody wanted like a W-2, but I didn't have a W-2, and I was 1099 and I got denied, and most of the agents only knew the traditional way. But I've went above and I try to solve it for myself. I know the thing, so I can help you as a business owner. Boom. But just if you don't know what to speak about, go back. What were the issues that you were struggling with? When you moved into that community with the HOA, what things you didn't know about an HOA that you can help somebody else now? So very simple, just go and record, go highlight somebody's restaurant, go highlight a business, go deliver value. And the more value you bring, the more content you can make that's natural, and the more exposure you're going to get. All right. That's it. Thank you for watching, guys. See you on the next one.
See you.